Welcome to this joint OECS Commission and ECCB special presentation, a two-part series on the Caribbean Science Foundation Student Program for Innovation in Science and Engineering, SPISE. In this series, we present an overview of the annual 4-week summer SPISE program opened to high school students with distinguished performance and interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM. Before we hear the inspiring experiences of some of the participants, Executive Director Dr. Dinah Saw tells us about SPISE and the program's objectives.
It's the flagship program offered by the Caribbean Science Foundation with a goal of helping to increase the low numbers of Caribbean students pursuing advanced degrees and careers in science and engineering. This program is offered to the top 16 to 18-year-old Caribbean students. It's an intensive summer program, 5 weeks in duration, where the students get to experience university-level calculus, physics, biochemistry, computer programming, electronics, and entrepreneurship. The longer-term goal is to diversify the economies of the region with by helping to harness STEM for technology-based companies.
In addition to university courses, SPISE also offers career workshops where successful professionals discuss their academic and career trajectories, providing students with a good sense of all the career paths that are possible with a degree in STEM. Over 152 students from across 16 Caribbean countries have benefited from this extraordinary initiative of the Caribbean Science Foundation. Some of the participants share their experiences and interesting aspects of SPISE.
It was a little intense, I'm not gonna lie, but it was probably one of the best academic experiences that I've had.
My SPISE experience was very educational. I was definitely challenged by the university level math and physics courses in particular. There were many nights where I would have to stay up quite late with the teaching assistant, trying to understand what surface integrals were, what electromagnetism is on a whole.
After going to SPISE and getting exposed to different subject areas and getting hands-on experience, I really saw, okay, I could really do something more with this area.
And it was only a month, and it was a good, microcosm of what you could expect in university, in terms of the coursework, the level of homework, the testing, and then the stuff that you could learn, the labs and stuff were really fun.
The lecturers and the teaching assistants were passionate and were really interested in our learning, and the material and activities reflected that. It was very interesting.
I was able to work with electronics kits and stuff like that. I wouldn't get the chance to work with at school, so that helped. And also just being able to work with some of the best Caribbean students in the fields that I'm interested in as well, and them all sharing similar interests to me in STEM and electronics, or just generally in STEM. That was just really good to help to expand my network and just gain more friends and work with more people that are interested in the field. So that was all a really great experience for me.
It was an awesome experience. It was very challenging, but also very rewarding. There was a lot of help with applying to colleges, and they gave a lot of advice on taking SATs and completing applications.
It was just a great time. You learned a lot of new things, but something that I always remember is that there was always support there. If it wasn't your peers, then the TAs were there to help you out. The lecturers were always willing. Dinah and Cardinal, they always made themselves available. So that support is something that stood out to me. And of course, getting along with my peers, being able to learn different things about the different islands, just even though we're so similar, there are enough differences to spark interest.
SPISE was definitely the first really challenging academic experience that I had. I remember going in, and I knew it would be challenging to, take college level courses in calculus, math, physics, but I really wasn't expecting to be really taken out of my comfort zone and really do work like I'd never done before, staying up late at nights, trying to understand what it is that we learned in lecture and working in groups of students to come up with like new ideas and solve really challenging problems. So it was really the first time I really was challenged in that way, and I'm really grateful for it.
We were learning college level math, college level physics. We're doing robotics using the technical knowledge that we had. We're learning Chinese and about the Caribbean. It was a very rounded and fulfilling experience. But it was the first time that I had truly been introduced to engineering and the concept of STEM careers. Throughout building the robot and using my favorite subjects to do it, I realized that people make careers out of the thing that I found most enjoyable, and it definitely was the start of my mechanical engineering dream.
It's really hard to pick from the different things that we had to do, from electronics to entrepreneurship projects. But I would say something that was really unique to the program was that every week we had different sessions that were not really non-academic sessions. We had like career seminars where somebody from different professions within STEM would come to us and tell us about their job, tell us about what they did on a day-to-day basis, and tell us about like their career path, so what it took for them to get to where they were.
I think the most interesting aspect was our robotics project. We had to build an underwater robot as part of a competition for the last day. And I just have a lot of memories being in the lab late at night trying to get things to work, and eventually my team actually won the competition. So
I realized that in the two previous years, no one had ever got we were supposed to put balls into a basket, and no one's robot has ever got the initial basket. You had to take the balls out open. So I just thought, you know what, let's just practice using the robot more than we spend time building it, and we were the best drivers. So I think that was a big thing to our success.
I took the robotics class, and I think that was really fun. I had not had an opportunity quite like that.
The first part of the robotics class is essentially building the base of the robot, and we basically followed a guide for this. But then at some point we had to give our own creative direction. How do we design this arm? So we had to learn how to program in Arduino. We had to learn how to do calculations to figure out, okay, this is the amount of force that the arm will need. How do I put this into practice? We're not just putting it together, but we're coding, we're wiring, soldering, doing all the technical stuff that I'd never done before, using my hands to build a machine that we had designed using actual physics and math theories. And we not only built it, but we tested it underwater. We had a little competition where we picked up like balls from the bottom of the water and the top, and it was just all so exciting and new to me. I really love that.
So I guess it's hard to choose the most interesting, but it would probably, at the time, it was probably the move away from rote learning and memorization. So there's a lot of emphasis placed on the fact that the program is not about the grades you get, it's about understanding the material and personal development. And to me, that was just awesome.
I think the most interesting aspect of the SPISE program was it was like a paradigm shift in learning and teaching. It was something completely different from what I was used to in secondary school. It really focused on helping students to derive from the bottom up concepts rather than trying to memorize formulas or equations or facts through rote learning. It really challenged you to be able to understand fundamental principles in science, math, engineering, and use those fundamental principles to expand upon that and to apply to different problems.
The fact that they trusted us enough to give us that responsibility, it really allowed us to grow in a way that we probably would not have experienced when we were home. So that responsibility and that trust that we would do what we have to do, and it was up to us to get it done. I think that spoke a lot about the trust that they placed in the people that they selected for the program, and they trusted that we would do what we had to do. So that was very interesting to me.
When I just started out in SPISE, they kind of told us or hinted to us that the SPISE program was almost identical to the MITES program at MIT, which is actually my dream school. It's always been my dream university was to attend MIT. So when I heard that it was like related or identical to that summer program, that really interested me. And the fact that the students and teachers and professors at SPISE were affiliated with MIT in some way, and some of them were students or actual professors in the departments that I liked. That stood out to me the most, really, at first when I was just applying to SPISE.
In the next episode of this series, we'll continue to chat with the students to find out what they have done since participating in the SPISE program and how they are using the knowledge gained through SPISE to chart their future paths. Please visit www.caribbeanscience.org for more information on the SPISE program.